reading for Wednesday, the 17th of September 2025. Wow. They were talking on the television either today or yesterday. It was about 100 days to Christmas, which, when you put it that way, it sounds a long way off. But when you actually think October, November, December, it feels a lot nearer. At least it does to me anyway. Well, welcome back again, or welcome, whichever is appropriate. Today's reading is called Be Present as the Hands of the Divine. And the first quote is from someone everyone's heard of, I hope, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And he says, "Use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself." Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And Ernest Holmes says kind of something similar. "I realize that my entire being is in the hands of a higher power, that my thought is molded by divine will, that my mind responds completely to the indwelling presence that is God." As I said, that was Ernest Holmes. And this is from our good friend Mary Davis, actually, who says, "Today we get to make something new. It doesn't really matter what. We could make a birthday cake, or we could make a deal, or we could make someone smile. Every single thing we create today wasn't there before. Not the cake, not the deal, not the smile, not the energy that we bring to this day. We are the creative tools of the divine, molding love into new things." He says, "I often wonder if that might be what this whole experience on earth is for, molding love into things for God." And then she quotes from Brother Lawrence, who's actually quite famous in religious spiritual circles. Brother Lawrence was a 17th century Carmelite brother in Paris, if you prefer, known for the practice of finding God's presence in even the smallest task. He performed menial tasks and jobs in the monastery for decades, cooking, repairing sandals, keeping God in his thoughts all the time. For him, every small action took on great value and put him to use as a channel for the divine. People would seek out the wisdom of this humble brother. Why? Because he exuded such an abiding peace. If we were assigned a duty from someone whom we deeply respect, we would pay special attention to the smallest details, bringing excellence and our best selves to the task at hand. The work would be considered the highest honor. He ends with this final paragraph saying, "Let's bring special attention to all of our work today. Let's be instruments of incredible love and peace. Let's be present and attentive as the hands of the divine, creating with tools of humility in the field of thanksgiving, molding love into things for God," or the divine, if you like. I actually looked up the etymology of good and God in tracing it back into Anglo-Saxon, because I thought the two things were synonymous, but they come from different roots and they got slightly different meanings. So good, and there was a slight difference with the God part, and it actually meant being receptive, being open, or being connected. So I thought the two things were synonymous, because I know that gospel means good news, Godspell in Anglo-Saxon. So, okay, so what do I personally make of this reading? I think, to me, it says, be attentive to what I'm doing each day. Don't do things by rote. Just be attentive to what I'm doing. In other words, be mindful. So to me, it's a reminder to be mindful. And it also tells me that when it's talking about doing God's will, to me, that is more about finding what your purpose in life is and being a decent human being. Because I don't personally believe that there's a set path that's been set for each and every one of us. Ernest Holmes and others have said that God, the divine, the all, however you want to term it, is a patterning intelligence, that there's a pattern, there's evolution, and evolution is moving forward on an infinite scale, but also on an individual scale. So I don't believe that every step is mapped out as to what we're doing, because if it did, there wouldn't be free will. So for this to be free will, there has to be choice. But I do believe this, that whatever choice you make, if you make it with purity of heart, then it doesn't matter, because you will end up at a place that's good for you, good for the world, good for the universe. That's my belief. So, but everybody has their own. In other words, I don't believe in predestination. I don't believe it's all mapped out, because it would totally conflict with the idea of free will. So maybe I'm wrong, but that is my belief. And I think it's the belief of most people who follow a spiritual and a mystical path, that you cannot go wrong if you do everything from right intent. So let me see, what was her? Oh yes, her affirmation. As I carry out my daily work, the music of divine love silently sings from my heart. As I carry out my daily work, the music of divine love silently sings from my heart. So that's up. Two things, three things actually. First one is Daniel Mercadal, who is one of our practitioners, did her mid-week meditation about a 20 to 30 minutes ago, because she has a job that ties her down sometimes. She can't always do it at noon. And tomorrow, Reverend Lisa, my colleague, will be on at about 9:15 a.m. all Central Time. So, and I'll be back tomorrow. It's Thursday. It's going to be nearer 6 o'clock when I'm on, because I teach a class, ironically, on world religions. I'm in my third week of 7, and that is from 3 to 5 p.m. Central Time. And it's physically out of local community college, the Academy for Lifelong Learning. So that's where I will be. So I will definitely be later tomorrow. So, well, what do you think of these readings? Do you like them? They're different every month. I like it because every day I get uplifted. And if there is a reading that doesn't uplift me, that tries to put me down, I won't read it. I'll ignore it. If it gets too preachy, I just won't say anything. I'll just offer you something else. So that's me. I think these daily readings, they should challenge us, but they should be uplifting as well. So it should be a good kind of balance of challenge and upliftment. So there you are. That's me. And I'm going to shut up. And I'll be back tomorrow. As I said, probably somewhere at about 6 o'clock. So until then, namaste.